1982. MTV is new, neon is bright, and synths rule the charts. But under the headlines, 15 rock bands were making records that should have blown up, and somehow didn't. That's what we're fixing tonight. If you love guitars that shimmer, bass lines that punch, and choruses that stick for days, you're in the right place. We're digging up the bands who got buried by hype cycles, bad timing, or zero radio love, and showing you the songs that prove they deserved more. Here's the deal: 15 picks, no repeats, no filler. We'll name the key album, Why It Mattered, and the one track to try first, so you can build a killer 1982 playlist by the end. And our final pick? It's the quiet spark that helped shape guitar music for the rest of the decade. Hit play, keep score, and tell us which band should have gone big. If we miss your holy grail, drop it in the comments for part 2. Ready to rescue some classics? Let's start at 15. First stop, Hoboken, New Jersey. Same small club ecosystem that fed the Feelies, same DIY nerves and jangly rush. The bongos took that scene's nervous energy and gave it pop bones, lean, bright, and fast. Drums. Along the Hudson isn't a typical debut. It plays like a curated snapshot of early singles and studio cuts that catch the band right as their ideas lock in. You hear chiming guitars snapping in tight patterns, bass lines that bounce without getting cute, and vocals that thread the line between cool and warm. Start with The Bulrushes. It's sharp and melodic, but there's a restless undercurrent that keeps it from floating away. Then try In the Congo for the band's playful minimalism, simple parts that add up to something bigger. Why didn't this explode in '82? Partly because the big labels were busy chasing obvious MTV stories. Also because this strain of American jangle hadn't yet moved mainstream. College radio loved it, but Top 40 wasn't ready. If you're a fan of the DBs or early REM, this is your missing puzzle piece. Do you hear the seeds of the later college rock wave here, or is this its own lane?
Hey, Rocklore community. Before we continue, let's have a real talk for a second, bro. You know, this isn't just a channel to us. And I hope it's not just a place you come to watch a video and then forget about it. This is a community. It's a place where we get to dig up the secrets of rock and roll, share our favorite riffs, and celebrate the artists who maybe didn't get the love they deserved. Right now, only about 1% of our viewers are subscribed. We can change that together and grow this community. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. When you do, you're not just helping a channel grow, you're becoming a member of the Rocklore family. You're signaling to us and to YouTube that these stories matter, that this music is worth preserving, and that this community is a place you want to be. Subscribing is your way of making sure you're always in the loop. It means you'll be the first to know when we unearth a forgotten legend, drop a new countdown, or dive into a piece of rock history you've never heard before. So if you're a true fan of the lore, if you get that same feeling of discovery that I do, then come join us. It takes 1 second to be a part of something bigger.
Honey, 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 stick out the garbage, jump.
Now swing hard in the other direction. The Birthday Party were chaos with a pulse. Bruised blues drag through broken glass. On Junkyard, everything hits like a live wire. Roland S. Howard's guitar is a siren. Mick Harvey's drums feel tribal and off balance, and Nick Cave's voice is a threat, a sermon, and a confession at the same time.
He's sack again.
The sound is swampy but not sloppy. It's deliberate mayhem. Spin She's Hit for the lurch and stagger that defined their attack. Then Dead Joe for pure velocity. This record is ugly beautiful by design, and that was the point. In 1982, when many bands chased clean lines and radio polish, the Birthday Party stayed feral. They didn't just avoid the mainstream, they barked at it.
Honey, 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 honey's house take.
The result? Big influence, small sales. But listen closely and you'll hear the blueprint for the darker rock that followed in the 80s and 90s. Does this kind of danger in rock still excite you, or does it feel too abrasive now? If punk is usually speed and spit, Flipper made a different case. Slow it down, make it heavier, and turn nihilism into a sing-along. Album: generic Flipper looks like a supermarket brand on the outside and sounds like a bar fight underwater on the inside. The drums are caveman simple, the bass is a bulldozer, and the guitars smear noise like paint. But buried in that sludge are hooks you can shout and a black humor that cuts through the grind. Cue up Way of the World for their deadpan life philosophy and Sex Bomb for the long, ridiculous, glorious jam that turns chaos into catharsis. Back in '82, this was never going to be radio candy. But Flipper lit a fuse under the alternative and grunge scenes to come. Bands learned you could be heavy, weird, and catchy at once. Does their slow-motion wrecking ball style feel ahead of its time? Or do you think it only works as a cult taste? Time to step into the neon with a different kind of edge. Romeo Void came out of San Francisco with art school confidence and a killer secret weapon, Benjamin Bossy's sax, slicing through the mix like a lead guitar. On Benefactor, that sax doesn't smooth things out, it adds tension. Deborah Isles' voice, cool and commanding, tells you exactly where the line is and when she's going to cross it. Guitars lock to a dance floor drum throb, but the mood stays noir, like a city at 3 a.m. Start with Never Say Never. You've heard the line, I might like you better if we slept together. But the pull is in the rhythm section's tight groove and the sax's hypnotic stab. Then try Wrap It Up to hear how they flip a classic into something sharp and modern. Why didn't they go bigger in '82? Some of it is timing. Rock radio didn't know where to file a band that mixed downtown jazz feel with post-punk guitars. Some of it is that they felt too cool for easy categories. If this dropped today on a streaming playlist, would you tag it alt-rock, post-punk, or dance rock? And would that tag even matter? We close this block with widescreen drama. Theater of Hate built songs like monuments, big drums, echoing guitars, and vocals that sound like a rallying cry across a battlefield. Westworld captures that scale, produced by Mick Jones from The Clash, who understood how to make a band sound massive without losing their grit. It's not about verses and choruses as much as it's about mood and momentum. The album feels like a signal fire, ancient themes lit with modern electricity. Cue Do You Believe in the Westworld for the full panorama. Tom heavy drums, chiming guitar lines, and Kirk Brandon's voice right at the edge of breaking. Then try Judgment Hymn for a darker, ritual groove. Why didn't they level up in '82? They lived in a space between post-punk and what would soon become goth, too intense for pop, too melodic for the harsher underground. But the scale and conviction here are undeniable. Your take: is this the kind of band that thrives better as a cult legend? Or do you hear a hit that radio simply missed? From Melbourne, this band hit like a moving machine. Heavy drums, pulsing bass, metallic percussion, and a horn team that didn't smooth the edges. It sharpened them. The debut album feels like a workshop of rhythm and tension. Guitars don't just strum, they stab in patterns. Vocals chant more than croon, turning the groove into a call and response. It's art rock with working class grit, built for sweaty rooms where the floorboards bounce. Start with the single that made their name in Australia. Listen for the way the beat builds, then how the horns crash in like an alarm. If you usually think brass, ikaks, soft, this record will change your mind. Question for you: does this percussive industrial thump feel like a cousin to post-punk, or more like a tougher version of pub rock? The Call's debut is where Heartland rock meets post-punk discipline. Think big emotions, but no bloat. Guitars with body, but arranged with sharp, modern space. The rhythm section pushes forward like a long drive at night. Steady, determined, headlights cutting a line through the dark. The lyrics aim higher than romance or rebellion. They chase purpose, dignity, and moral weight without getting preachy. Spin the opening cuts and pay attention to the bass. The songs are built from the ground up, which is why they hit your chest before they hit your head. Within a year, the band would brush the charts in bigger rooms, but this 1982 set is the blueprint. Lean, urgent, and sincere. When you hear rock with a conscience, does it pull you in? Or do you prefer your anthems without the mission statement? Minimalism can be louder than noise. Felt's debut is proof. The guitars glimmer like light on water, clean lines, no extra fuss, while the drums keep a quiet, heartbeat pulse. Lawrence sings like he's writing in a diary, and you're overhearing it. The magic is in what they leave out. Space around the notes, patience in the tempo, melodies that feel hand-drawn instead of painted with a roller. Put on track 1 and let the guitar figures unfold. You'll hear careful counter melodies weaving in and out, like two voices having a calm conversation. This is the seed of so much later indie. Restraint as a style, intimacy as a hook. Question: when you want to reset your ears, do you reach for something this spare, or do you crave the rush? This video is sponsored by the Lore Store on Amazon, your one-stop shop for music lovers across reggae, rock, pop, and hip-hop. We built it for real listeners who don't want to dig through 1,000 listings to find the right gear. Inside the Lore Store, you'll find 5 aisles. VIP, top, battle-tested essentials. Headphones, turntables, speakers, gig-safe earplugs, smart speakers. Reggae vibe. Roots and lovers. Rock made easy. Automatic decks, warm bookshelf speakers, vinyl care. Rock lore. Classic rock must-haves. Open back cans, simple amps, living room concert vibes. Pop lore. Feel-good everyday setups, clean, clear speakers, easy streaming, nostalgia-friendly picks. Hip-hop must-haves. Punchy bass without the muddle, closed-back headphones and living room systems that handle low-end. Plus a rotating crate of old album vinyl if you're rebuilding a 60s-90s collection. Every product page tells you who it's for, 3 pros, 1 con, and why we picked it. So you can choose with confidence. Flying soon? Check. VIP for noise canceling that tames plane roar. Mostly listening at home? Try open-back headphones that let live albums breathe. Want instant gratification vinyl? Our fully automatic turntable is 1 button from silence to music. And the record cleaning kit knocks down crackle so the bass tightens up. Headed to shows? Grab high-fidelity earplugs. Hands-free at home? Our smart speaker picks let you say, play 70s reggae or classic pop, and you're there. Deal alert. If you use the link in the description, you'll land on our curated picks with current best available Amazon pricing and active discounts where applicable. Prices change, so buy now to lock in today's deal. Tap the link in the description, pick your aisle, grab a favorite, and tell me which category you want me to build next. The Lore Store. Listen better, with gear that gets out of the way and lets the music live. Here comes the rush. Mission of Burma compressed art rock brains into punk rock bodies. Verses is taut and physical. Chords hit like punches, then break into sudden open spaces. Drums snap hard. Bass lines run like they're being chased. The vocals are urgent but never messy, and the band's use of tape loops and live sound tricks adds a ghostly afterimage to the riffs, like the song is still echoing even as the next part starts. Listen for the dynamic shifts. Quiet to loud, tight to wide, order to chaos and back again. It's not just volume, it's architecture. This record taught a generation how to be intelligent without losing physical impact. If you had to play one track for a friend who thinks post-punk means cold and distant, which cut from this album would you pick to prove them wrong? San Francisco jangle with big sky and big feelings. Translators' guitars sparkle, but the songs carry a bittersweet pull, the kind that makes you think about old friends and open roads. The writing is clean, verse, chorus, a line that sticks in your head for days. The playing is tighter than most college radio bands of the era, which is why this album still sounds crisp today. Start with the near hit everyone should know. Once the chorus lands, you'll wonder how it wasn't a top 10 smash. Then go deeper. The album is full of smart hooks that never shout.
Yes, it's just someone who felt a lot like I remember.
It's the missing link between power pop sweetness and alt-rock introspection. When you discover a should-have-been hit, do you add it to your regular rotation, or do you file it under Cool Find and move on? Take punk pedigree, add midnight glamour, and write choruses sharp enough to cut through radio gloss. That's The Lords. Frontman Stiv Bators brought danger in theater. Brian James supplied the serrated guitar lines. The rhythm section locked things down with a dark, danceable throb. The sound isn't pure goth or straight punk. It's a sweet Venom hybrid. Cathedral reverb, spy movie riffs, and big hooks that smirk while they seduce. Why it mattered. In a year crowded with clean synth-forward singles, this album proved you could be stylish and unafraid of the shadows. Those choruses should have crossed over. Too catchy to ignore, too edgy to fully domesticate. Why it stalled. The image scared some gatekeepers, and the songs didn't fit the neat radio categories of 1982. Start with the snaking, radio-ready anthem that practically defines their stance. Eyes wide open, message sharp. When rock gets theatrical and a little wicked, does it pull you in, or do you find the drama gets in the way of the music?
And it comes and goes in shadows, paintings of the open windows, photograph.
Hear the 12-string shimmer first, widescreen guitars that feel like a clear night sky. The church balanced dreaminess with drive, interlocking arpeggios, steady rhythm section, and Steve Kilby's cool, poetic vocal lines. The songs unfold patiently, building space instead of crowding it. This is the kind of album that becomes a landscape you live in for 40 minutes, then play again to notice the details you missed. Why it mattered. It showed how atmospheric could still mean muscular and melodic, giving guitar bands a path that wasn't either slick pop or harsh post-punk. Why it stalled. Outside Australia, distribution and radio identity hurt them. They were too intelligent for quick hits and too tuneful to be filed as underground. If you only know them from a late 80s classic, this is the blueprint, more crystalline, just as haunting. Do you prefer your guitar epics fast and loud, or slow blooming and cinematic like this? This is the sound of a band refining atmosphere into muscle. Guitars ring with restrained power. Bass lines move like tides. Drums keep a pulse that feels inevitable. Stephen Fellows sings like someone thinking out loud, low, steady, and exact, while the band shifts between tension and release with a filmmaker's timing. Compared to their darker earlier work, Fiction leans slightly more song-forward without losing the storm clouds on the horizon. Why it mattered. Few bands did brooding but big-hearted better. They proved mood can be structure, not just decoration. Why it stalled. The space between post-punk weight and radio brightness is narrow. They stayed true to feeling over flash, and the charts didn't reward that. Listen front to back. The sequencing tells a story of pressure, doubt, and stubborn hope. When a record chooses mood over obvious singles, do you lean in and live with it, or skip to chase instant hooks? Adrian Borland and company made a decision here. Resist the pressure to chase a hit and make the record they believed in. The result is defiant and textural, less polished than their previous album, more committed to a stark, emotional core. Guitars bite, then dissolve. Rhythms push forward without swagger. The voice at the center is urgent but unshowy, choosing conviction over gloss. It's not difficult, it's principled, and that stance is the point. Why it mattered. It's a rare snapshot of a great band saying no to easy compromises in real time. You can hear the argument with the era inside the songs. Big feelings presented with edges left on. Why it stalled. Refusing to play the chart game usually means the chart refuses you back. Decades later, the record reads like a letter that was ahead of its delivery date. What do you value more? An album that tries to meet the moment, or an album that stands its ground even if it costs airplay?
Hey, Rocklore community. Before we continue, let's have a real talk for a second, bro. You know, this isn't just a channel to us. And I hope it's not just a place you come to watch a video and then forget about it. This is a community. It's a place where we get to dig up the secrets of rock and roll, share our favorite riffs, and celebrate the artists who maybe didn't get the love they deserved. Right now, only about 1% of our viewers are subscribed. We can change that together and grow this community. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. When you do, you're not just helping a channel grow, you're becoming a member of the Rocklore family. You're signaling to us and to YouTube that these stories matter, that this music is worth preserving, and that this community is a place you want to be. Subscribing is your way of making sure you're always in the loop. It means you'll be the first to know when we unearth a forgotten legend, drop a new countdown, or dive into a piece of rock history you've never heard before. So if you're a true fan of the lore, if you get that same feeling of discovery that I do, then come join us. It takes 1 second to be a part of something bigger.
This is where the fuse gets lit. The Dream Syndicate take velvet lean minimalism, crazy horse scale guitar stamina, and LA streetlight poetry, then drive it like they've got somewhere urgent to be. The band rides a hypnotic groove, two guitars arguing and agreeing, bass and drums making a long road feel short, while Steve Wynn sings like the clock is always ticking.
Verification. Somebody said this was my creation.
The songs start lean and grow teeth. When they stretch, it's not jamming for its own sake. It's momentum, tension, and release turned into a narrative. Why it mattered. It became a map for American indie guitar music. Noise as color, repetition as trance, melody as a slow reveal. So many later bands learned from its balance of control and abandon.
I'm trying to remember.
Why it stalled. Outside of critics and college radio, 1982 wasn't primed for long, thrilling guitar digressions, but time picked the winner. This album sounds like a decision that shaped the next decade. If you had to hand one track from this album to a friend who thinks 1982, Chacker synths only, which cut would you choose to change their mind? The journey doesn't end here, Rock Warrior. Watch this next.